Good evening. We'd like to welcome you to the Elmore County Commission work session dated Monday, August 9th, 2021. We'll call this meeting to order. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of you who are visiting with us today. We'd like to recognize our probate judge, John Thornton, with us today, and all of our visitors and guests. We first would like to begin our commission meeting tonight with a special presentation. We'd like to invite Mr. Todd Smith, representative from Schneider Electric, to come up to the podium here and give us some information on our energy savings.
Good evening. Thank you very much for having me. My name is Todd Smith. I'm with Schneider Electric, and we are Elmore County's energy services partner. We've been working with you since really about 2015. When we went through our original design, y'all went through procurement to select a partner to not only modernize your buildings, but to make you more energy efficient. And so some of the things that we were able to accomplish across the county included renovating this building and modernizing it, bringing it up to speed in terms of HVAC and lighting and automation. But what was really neat is bringing all the rest of your county facilities into a centralized system so that your operations staff could make sure that they're not only keeping the constituents comfortable, but that they're also not wasting power, gas, and water when they don't need to be. And so implementing those measures has been very successful over the course of the last 5 years. We've been tracking, measuring, and verifying your performance, and we've been meeting with your county staff and administration to make sure that they're understanding how we're operating things and providing them support when they need it. And so tonight we wanted to come and present to you that you've officially hit your $1 million milestone in terms of cost savings for the county. You'll see a banner stand over here. You know, Schneider Electric has a commitment back to the county to perform at a certain level. And so being able to hit that first $1 million is a big mark for us. Obviously, we have a large commitment to the county to make sure that we do things the right way. Most recently, y'all had some other work that came about that you're going to need some help on, including some work at the jail and pulling in a couple more buildings, the EOC, the Drug Task Force building, and a few other things that we're working on right now to make sure that you're going to be as efficient as possible there. We're going to be taking a look a little bit at some of the telecommunications and IT and different things just to generate cost efficiencies for the county. And so we appreciate your support, and I wanted to let you know that y'all really were one of our larger national stories in terms of having such a beautiful historic courthouse. We actually created a national ebook that we've used across the country to show other counties, other municipalities that have historic buildings that are looking to maintain their tradition and their heritage, but also provide a modern, comfortable environment for people to come and do business at. And so that ebook, I've got a few copies of it, but it looks like that. And it's up on our website, and we've promoted it, like I said, on a national scale. We also created a press release for your $1 million milestone that you hit as a county, and so we hope to spread that out. We're going to go ahead and release that out, at a national level to get you guys some buzz about everything that you've been doing good at Elmore County. And I hope to come back before you as we have future plans with the county and things that we might be able to address. But I wanted to come and just say congratulations and ask if you have any questions or anything you'd like me to explain further about our partnership, but appreciate the opportunity.
Todd, we definitely appreciate you being here tonight to share some of that information with us. These are the types of projects that they occur and then they kind of go unseen. We all recognize the changes. We feel the changes as we enter the building and exit the building and lighting. And those who have been here or in this building 6, 8, 10 years ago or decades ago can definitely tell the difference in the comfort level, but retained the historic nature of the building. So we definitely appreciate that and a preservation of history, which is very important to us here in Elmore County. So thank you. I'll turn the time over to any commissioners if any comments or questions. All right. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate it, and we look forward to getting that press release out.
Can we get a photo with that in front of the commission?
Troy, walk on that way.
don't you come up here? I'll come down there. We'll go 2 and 2 on each side, you and I'll stand.
Thank you, Todd.
Thank you.
All right, we will now proceed with our regular business, a review of the minutes of the July 26, 2021 Commission meeting. Any comments or questions? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed to review the memorandum of warrants for the period of July 21, 2021 through August 8, 2021. Mr. Byer?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, for that time period, the memorandum warrants is $1,179,588.18.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? All right, hearing none, we'd like to invite Ms. Jenny Hamilton from the District Attorney's Office to come up to the podium here in reference to the upcoming fiscal year domestic violence grant application.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners, I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you. This is the 24th year that the DA's office, the Elmore County Commission, the Sheriff's Office have partnered together on the Domestic Violence Task Force grant through ADECA. It's a little different this year. ADECA, along with the state of Alabama, is going to an online grant application process. So everything will be streamlined online, and so therefore, I believe because of that process, they are behind in releasing the request for proposal. Normally, we come to you in May or June to request this, and so we still have not received the request for proposal, but I'm being told it should be handed down any day now. Of course, I've been told that since June as well, so I don't know that for certain. But I come to you today because I am leaving town and would not be able to be here in September, so I wanted to get ahead of this. We have already prepared the narrative for the grant. We have prepared the budget for the grant, and you may have that in front of you. If not, I have it available for you. We may have to do things differently. We're being told that we're going to have to apply for 2 separate grants this year because our domestic violence grant is made up of 4 law enforcement officers, 2 prosecutors, and 3 victim service officers. They're telling us that the law enforcement piece will come out of a different funding stream, so to speak, a different purpose area, and so therefore we may have to apply for 2 separate ADECA grants instead of the 1. However, if we do that, we anticipate applying for the same amount of money that we received this year. The only difference will be it will separate our budget. Instead of the one budget that I submitted to you guys, it will separate it, and the law enforcement will have their own budget, and the DA's office will have its own budget. We do not anticipate anything being different other than that. The cash match for this grant is a 25% match, and the DA portion of that is $31,664. The Elmore County portion of that is $18,668. So I anticipate it will either be that amount or less than that if ADECA is not able to fully fund our request to them. So I come before you now asking if you will once again approve to be the agency that applies for this grant and provide the Elmore County portion of the cash match, which is just over $18,000.
Thank you very much. We appreciate the partnership and opportunity that we have from the Elmore County Commission's perspective in working with our District Attorney's Office and law enforcement. As you mentioned, this is the 24th year of this partnership, and we look forward to continuing that. And we appreciate all that you do and all of those in law enforcement to provide us with a safe place to live.
Great.
Any comments or questions?
Ms. Hamilton, I just want to echo that. Having spent 36 years in law enforcement, I'm very familiar with what y'all do in the area of domestic violence, and we can never thank you enough. So many counties are not privileged to have the program that we have here in Elmore County. and they suffer greatly from it, and it's an ongoing problem. But y'all do wonderful work and touch many, many lives.
Thank you.
And this is a long time, 24 years. There's no telling how many lives have been touched by what y'all do, so thank you so very much.
As a lifelong Elmore County resident, I need to thank you guys for the work that you do, because I know that you do not receive that type of gratification often enough. You get lots of complaints about road work and nothing else, so thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. That's a good transition. We get complaints about things other than road work. We'll now talk about waste management and our trash pickup. So, Van, if you can come up.
Richie, can we raise that microphone?
Van, we're going to try to raise that microphone up a little bit. if we can.
Okay. You hear me? All right. So thank you for having me here tonight, and hopefully I can answer any questions that you may have. But so I'm going to go right in and kind of give you an update of where we are. We have increased our staffing to, we have 18 residential drivers now, up from the, we were understaffed prior, but we had a very successful job fair. We made 14 job offers during the job fair. Unfortunately, 5 of those individuals, 2 did not qualify, and 3 were unresponsive after the offers were made. But we still netted out. We have 8 drivers in training right now. 5 of those are starting to run some routes, on their own. They're not full-time yet. They're not fully trained, but they are starting to run the trucks and operate on their own. I have 2 drivers out right now for COVID. So that nets us out 14 residential routes we're running out of Montgomery, 4 of those in Autauga County, and 10 out of Elmore County now. And just about 2 weeks ago, we moved the city of Tallahassee to run out of my Opelika operation. So it's currently running out of there, and we're taking that truck and driver and moving them into Elmore County. So we're going to increase the number of routes that we can run in Elmore County. We have, I've looked, it was just over 1,300, right around 1,350 new active accounts that we picked up in July. These aren't additional new accounts, they're just, let's say, carts that were out there that now we're collecting on. They're active customers, they're on routes, they're set up in our systems, and they are functioning, and we expect that to continue to grow as well. Trucks, 19 ASLs. We've gone completely ASLs in Elmore County. In fact, both of my sites are all ASLs. No more rear loaders. A little bit easier to find and get and bring help on, drivers on, when there's nobody that has to get on the back of a truck. So that's helping us out as well. 4 of those are rental trucks. They're less than a year old. We had 2 prior to the acquisition. We did have 2 brand new trucks. We're working on getting 2 more rental trucks into our system, but they're a little bit difficult to get right now. But as soon as they become available, we're bringing 2 more rental trucks in so that we can start taking the 10 trucks that we've identified and moving them, unfortunately, to Lexington, Kentucky to be refurbished. They're just part of where we're at now. There's not a local dealership or manufacturer that's capable of handling those refurbs. So we'll start sending those trucks up there to be refurbished, and as soon as and we'll rotate them out. Customer service, our cart service, I am happy to say that we've done just over 2,000 cart activities since April 1st, once we got the migration done and moved everybody into our system. So we still have plenty of carts. We've got things in place. We still have those that come up and say they've been waiting X amount of months to get a cart, but we try to push them through the system and get them taken care of. So cart service is coming around pretty well. And those are for Elmore, Autauga, and Tallahassee. That's the total of the 2,000. Customer Service Center. Right now, we've just brought in another wave of the migration of the advanced disposal into our system. It's really kind of put as we all know, a pretty big burden on the existing, our existing customer base. So prior to this transition, we had some customer service reps that were advanced disposal running their systems, and we had customer service reps with waste management running our systems, and the two just didn't work. They just didn't mix. And so now, as we're bringing more of those over, more of those advanced disposal representatives service reps will move over into our system. By the end of October, we are going to have 75 more customer service reps than we have now. And just to give you an idea, in June, July, we were operating with 25. Driver training's ongoing. As I mentioned before, we have tablets in the trucks. That's what we use that's what our routing gets done in. We're getting better and better with the drivers and statusing those stops as they come along. It's still, as obviously everybody knows, it's still a painstakingly lengthy process. Before we ever put a driver in a truck to run a route, he's gone or she's gone through anywhere from 8 to 10 weeks of training before they start running those routes. And then the OBUs, the tablets that are in the trucks, start going there. It's been about 4.5 months since we migrated, all of the customers into our systems. It's not gone as smooth as we had hoped it would be. We bought it, we own it. This is mine. I'm accountable for it. But we've not seen headwinds like we have, obstacles like we have in our industry in an awful long time. Just to give you an example, 2 weeks ago, I'm fueling all my trucks off-site because I can't get a truckload of fuel in to fill up my tanks. And this is on for everything. So we're working through those obstacles, throwing every bit of resource that we can at them. To move a truck to Kentucky, it's going to run about $5,000 per truck just to haul it up there. So we're not doing the things that we need to do to get this problem resolved. Throwing every bit of resource at it that we have available to us, and I don't know if we're going to be out of this thing anytime soon, but we are working towards getting things more developed, better, and more stable as we move through.
Thank you. I appreciate some of those details and specific facts with regards to the driver status and the training and the routes and all of those updates. I'm going to turn the time over to Commissioner Hines for some comments. As you are aware, each commissioner has specific areas of focus, and Commissioner Hines' primary focus is infrastructure and waste management, and trash service falls under that. So I'm going to turn the time over to him for some comments, and then we'll go from there. Commissioner?
Yes, Commissioners, in front of you, you will find a waste management corrective action plan that myself and Mr. Meyer put together with the help of others. Van, I know you have a problem, but it seems like our problem is bigger now than it was 6 months ago or 4.5 months ago. I'm just going to be blunt tonight. It's nothing personal. I was a supervisor with a multi-million-dollar company. And it fell on my shoulders when one of my branches or the company did not act right. And I worked endless hours sometimes at night and riding to different branches to make sure it was taken care of. When I got elected in November, I never realized I'd be working 4 or 5 days for waste management. I mean, an hour a day. And that's what I'm spending at this present time. And that's amazing that my emails are, when I wake up in the morning early, there's a half dozen emails already on my phone where people are saying the trash wasn't picked up, or it's been a week or 2 weeks, or my container's damaged, or it was picked up by the truck and wasn't returned. You made a statement that I saw that you had 3,000 curbside containers that were not actually being billed for in this county. Is this correct?
Yes, non-active.
Okay.
Non-customers, non-active.
Well-
And additional carts on top of your customers.
Then
that are paying.
I think as you as a supervisor or a crew of supervisors need to get in a truck and follow your trucks maybe for a couple of weeks and maybe tag on some of these containers and saying, I'm sorry, we don't have billing for 2, we're going to bill you for 2 or pick up 1. That's a suggestion that I would do if I was in your position. And that's what I got to look at, okay? And my fellow commissioners, they're the same as me. They're getting 4 or 5 emails a day, some of them more. And we have other things we need to do. Our trash at elmore.org since January the 1st has received 447 complaints. That's tremendous. That's, if you break it down and even count Saturdays and Sundays, that's a couple every day that we're having to deal with at our highway department, and our office is having to deal with those phone calls because they want results from, and we know y'all are tagged on that. I think the biggest thing is there's 4 huge complaints. Number 1 is I put my trash out, it don't get picked up today, it's tomorrow, or it's 2 days or 3 days and dogs get in it or somebody knocks it over and then trash is everywhere. And your people are coming back and saying, we don't have an account for you. I'm suggesting in the next 90 days, if it's a container out there, pick it up until you can get personally behind the truck or somebody can, or crew can, and let someone know that they're not being billed, that you're going to pick up the container in the next 90 days if they don't get billed and get taken care of. Next of all, they're getting containers that's damaged. And your dispatcher, or whoever who it is, will say, I'm going to get you a new container in the next day or 2 days. No one takes them one. We just had a great example. Or they say, we took one out there, and they didn't take it out there. Another thing is, you know, the complaints of no lids, no tires. At the same time, you're following that truck as a supervisor. Maybe you need to have a trailer behind it with a crew, and you're swapping these containers out without them having to send notes in. Hadn't had a lid for 6 months. And as much rain as we've had lately, that makes it tough out there. Or when they pick it up, where does the trash go? It flies off sometimes. You know, we've pushed hard for all our residents to put it in bags, but they're not going to do that, okay? Which brings up another subject. I've had 4 complaints in the last week where 2 of them was where your container maybe come by in a pickup or a trailer, picked up a container to give them a new one, and they didn't have a lid on it because there's an old one and trash flew out of it. So just going to let you know on that. Another one is the Walmart bags, they're going to fly out. So maybe they need to close their lids if they're going to hit the main road. I know you said usually you recommend that, but they really need to watch that because we've had a lot of that lately. I'm glad to hear, because one of the points I was going to bring out was more routes. Undoubtedly, your drivers are just can't get it done, okay, because of the weather, too many containers, or too many on the route. So I'm glad to tell us commissioners tonight that you are adding another route and new trucks are going to be out there. You know, the big number one thing is, though, is making a commitment to me or to these commissioners and their residents, and Elmore County residents, or to our manager or to Ms. Kim, and not following through with it. We're going to pick your trash up tomorrow, we're going to change you a container out tomorrow. It's not happening, Van, okay? That's nothing personal. That's business. That's just pure business, okay? If my driver is delivering a load of pipe and he leaves off half of it to get out there, it's my fault. It's not that customer's fault. It's Waste Management's fault when your representative in that office tells John Doe that, hey, I'm sorry we missed your trash. We're going to pick it up tomorrow morning, or we're going to pick it up Wednesday. I'll use a great example. I can go to Friday. There was a gentleman that sent a note in Thursday, and he said trash wasn't picked up. Your representative said, we will be there Friday and get it. He called back Friday. We promised Saturday. Well, we get an email today. Guess what? It wasn't picked up. Okay? That is something that training does, to look them in the eye and say, look, they'd rather hear we can't get it until Monday. They're going to be mad, but they're not going to be doubly mad, and they're not going to send a note to Commissioner Daughtry or to our manager, Richie, or to Ms. Kim, or to me, and saying, hey, Henry, can you help me? Now, on the bright side, and I'm going to touch on some, I've got others that's bragging. When I got a hold of you personally, you boom, popped on it. We took care of it. But we shouldn't have to do that, okay? We shouldn't have to do that. Y'all are in the waste management business. I'm not. I was an ex-salesman, sales manager for a huge company, okay? I don't know anything about garbage. Y'all do. You know how to run the trucks. You know how to handle it. You know how to do the things of that. Commissioner Daughtry here was in law enforcement. He knows that side, as our chairman knows ice cream and can handle that, or education, because that's his field, okay? Your field is waste management, picking up trash. We need what people are paying for, and that's servicing our customers, our residents of Elmore County, and to be told the truth. Not be told we're going to get it tomorrow and not do it. Not be told we're going to get it Saturday and not do it. Not told that we're going to bring you a new container. You know, you've got extra containers, and I'll use my container as a perfect example. There's 11 of them set together. I've showed you a picture of it. 3 of them don't have lids on it. My people that live next to me said, Henry, why don't they replace the lids? I said, y'all need to send a note. He said, shouldn't their driver make a note and take care of that? You know, those are the little things. You know, I'm a sports fanatic, okay? And I'm going to use something that's used a lot of times. You know what the size of a home plate is? 17 inches. If that ball is a quarter of an inch outside, it's a ball, okay? When you're running your company and you don't pick up that trash can, you're outside that line. It's a foul ball. It's outside. It's no longer there, okay? 4 of those, you walk. Throw it down the middle, the batter hits it. But that plate is 17 inches. Your company is this big. They're huge. Y'all been doing this a long time. We keep hearing every time you come, we're getting better. But you're not, okay? I don't need to be ugly. I don't need to be rude. I don't want to be disrespectful, okay? But we need action, and we're asking tonight to your company to step up and give us that action. Okay, Van?
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions?
Mr. Forrester, I will tell you that, I'll be brief, but I'll tell you that last week, every day, I think every day I got emails, phone calls, and complaints from people, mainly saying that my garbage wasn't picked up on my day, and I was promised it'd be picked up the next day, and it wasn't. I sent those to the email to you and Mr. Mitchell, and just for my curiosity, I looked up the net worth of Waste Management today, and the latest that I saw was 2017, $21 billion company. No one will ever convince me, with all due respect, that company of $21 billion in assets can't service 80,000 people in Elmore County, Alabama. And the people are just totally fed up with any excuse whatsoever. I had a gentleman today say, I got 3 days of trash because mine went over 3 days. What I do with that extra trash, is there a dumpster I can take it to? I had another one tell me that he was using his friend's business dumpster. They shouldn't have to do that. They're paying for a service per the contract, and that's exactly what we expect. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Yeah, Van, I want to tell you, I appreciate you coming. I've been in the service business for many years, albeit it's not trash, but it's still a service business. And I've been in your situation where you have to come answer for what other people have done. And it's not always comfortable. And I do recognize the fact that you didn't bring your partners with you tonight, and so that's noted. But I appreciate you coming. We do have a problem, of course, you know that. And I agree with what Commissioner Daughtry has said. I can't understand why a company the size of Waste Management can't get this right. It's not like we have, we've just started this. I get tremendous number of complaints, and what I don't understand is why does it take me taking my time out of my busy day, sending an email to get something done? Because to us, your customer, is our constituent. They're the most important person that you should be addressing that day on their route. If they don't get addressed, and you need to go back the next morning and fix it, the next day and fix it, and that's just not happening. What I don't understand is why are we having the same problem at the same addresses week after week? I don't have an answer to that question. I know in our little small business that my family runs, if we have a problem, that's going to be the biggest problem of our day is that one customer until we get it fixed, and then we're going to follow up to make sure that it doesn't happen again. One of the businesses that I run, that we own, we've got one chance to get it right. If we don't get it right that one chance, there's no next day. There's no going back and redoing it. We got one chance. So I will tell you, I'm probably a little more in tune with getting it right the first time. Now, I know we've got the virus that we're dealing with, but there's going to come a point in time where your upper management is going to have to understand that Elmore County is tired of hearing that crap. I mean, we're tired of it. And you need to make sure, I hope you're going to call your people wherever they are and say, look, guys, we got a problem. They're tired of hearing this because it's here to stay. Every time we turn around, it's some different variation of it, and we're having another whole scare. So it's here. So we're going to have to do what we've got to do to fix it. Because right now, I'm sure you're only able to do what you're given to do with. You're a big company. No telling how many bosses you have above you. But I want you to communicate to them what the tools they're giving you to do this job is not working. The tools they are giving you to do this job is not working. You're writing it down and make sure you get right what I said. It's not working, and it's causing us problems. We're all having to take too much time out of our day to help you do your job, and I do not understand that. I appreciate you coming here tonight, but again, please help us fix this.
And then I want to echo Commissioner Mercer that I appreciate you being here, but I just had a main question. The most bizarre case that I've had with my district was that I had a resident that didn't have his trash picked up for 2 months. And to make it even more bizarre is I sent an email to Waste Management, and I didn't hear back from you guys in 24 hours. That I had to reach out to my chief operation officer to reach out to you all, and then I get a response. And so I actually felt the treatment that our residents have actually felt too whenever they call and email and they don't hear anything back from you all. And it was very aggravating. Of course, a ticket was entered. I believe you were the one that responded back, and I think he got squared away, but it was 2 months. So I guess my main question is, how do you double-check routes so that we don't have sections that are being left out for long periods of time? Because he tried to deal with it on his own instead of reaching out to his commissioner. Finally, he just couldn't, and we got it taken care of. But how do you all cover that so that residents aren't just sitting there and being forgotten about?
Well, we cover it through the tablets in the trucks. But it also takes people behind that to make sure that, every road was traveled. We have that visibility, whether it was done or not done, we do have that visibility. I can't remember the one specifically you're referring to. 2 months,
It was in
That is-
Elmore.
That is absolutely an issue. And I'll go back and follow up on it. I just don't recall exactly which one that was. But there are ways that we can see, and track what's done and what isn't done. The bad side of that is if a driver inadvertently, accidentally, or just for not being, at that point in his training, selects that it was completed, then we don't have a way to go back and look unless we go back and see the road that it was on. So there are things that we can do to track that. We just have to get the people in place to be able to look at that on a daily basis. And unfortunately, it's our customers that give us the most and the most up to date and the latest information.
All right. Van, I echo my fellow commissioners and appreciate you being here. I want to add a couple of thoughts. I think that we have had you here probably 7 or 8 times this year, dating back to when the transition took place in October of 2020. We know that there was build-up to the actual acquisition of Waste Management, or Waste Management acquiring Advanced Disposal. For us, as a county commission, we obviously provide the opportunity for a company like Waste Management or previously Advanced Disposal to do business in Elmore County to provide these services to our citizens. And, the frustrating thing, and I think that my fellow commissioners have done a great job of sharing with you their frustrations, but I think that we're getting to a point where we as a county commission, we can't just have you come and give us a report on some potential positive movement, which I am excited to hear that you've hired more people and you've got more trucks and more routes and all of those things. But, frankly, I don't know now. 6 months ago, I would have thought, man, that's going to translate into improved service, positive feedback from the community, everything else. Now, I doubt that because of the things that we've observed over the last 6 months. We've talked about routes. We've talked about change in communication. We've updated our way of communicating with the citizens. We've gone out of our way, which I would venture to say that there are a lot of places that Waste Management serves in the United States that don't do the things that we've done, which is set up a specific email for people to share their complaints. We have opened ourselves up. We can't put this back in the can, right? I mean, we've put ourselves in a position where people think now that we are the go-to to try to get something done with Waste Management. And that's our fault. We did that because we actually thought that was going to make the transition smoother and faster and get us to our goal, which was efficient service. We thought that was going to get us there faster. But it's actually bogged us down in many ways. And so, now we've got to try to find a way to, hopefully accelerate, some of the changes that you're making with the routes and employees and everything to try to get some, we need small victories. I mean, you need small victories. We need small victories. We need the positive little things so that we can try to resolve the big things. I get emails like this. The problem really is they skipped McQueen Smith, Thornton Road, and Dexter. It's impossible to get them to answer. They should at least provide a call back. It's been very frustrating. We've been waiting on 2 cans since last September. They've promised to deliver 4 times. The cans are broken and don't work, but the bill still comes like clockwork, yet no trash is being picked up due to no cans. I was told we would finally get pickup tonight after missing us last week, and today and now when I call, the automated system says it's coming tomorrow. What do they expect us to do with our trash? It's over 500 feet to our road. So it's not like we can just walk out, grab it, and bring it back to our house. So, that's the kind of feedback we get. But then on a positive side, I get this. Someone has an issue. My response, we're working on getting your trash situation handled. The county is not the provider, but we are bringing your situation to the attention of Waste Management. If you have not heard from someone by the end of day tomorrow, let me know. Thank you, Troy. She writes back, thank you so much. Thanks for your help. They called today and are bringing a new container out right now. So that, for me, that's a small victory. For you, that's a small victory. And those kind of things are positive, and it echoes throughout the county. But there's just too many of the other side. And so that's where we need to be. And there was a time for about 2 or 3 weeks where that's the kind of feedback we were getting. Every time we sent something, it was done within 24 hours. It was like May, June, something like that. And since then, it's like we've fallen off a cliff. So we've got to find a way to get back to that, because we're putting ourselves out on a limb every time I tell someone that I'm about to call Waste Management on their behalf. I mean, my reputation, my time, all of those things are being put out there with what my concern is, what recourse do I have? I mean, what can I do? So I'm asking our county attorney to review the contract that was with Advanced Disposal, the contract that has transitioned from Advanced Disposal to Waste Management, to determine where we're at with this contract, what our options are with the renewal of the contract coming up, I believe, in early 2024, and how we can address this so that we have some level of recourse on behalf of the people of Elmore County. So, Jeff, is that something that you can do?
Yes, it's under review, and I will have some recommendations.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. And Van, again, we appreciate you coming. You have been very responsive to me directly when I send text messages. I know that you can't be everywhere all the time, but it is what it is. So just keep fighting the good fight and tell Mike to show up next time. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll advance to the next item on our new business, discuss QCHC agreement for inmate detainee health services.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this is a professional service contract. The previous contract had expired at the end of June, 1st of July. Negotiations for the new contract and review were underway, and this is our first opportunity to bring it back to you for consideration for approval. This has been through not only the county attorney, but has also been through the sheriff. He is satisfied with the contents of the contract, and it includes all the elements that he's asked to be in there. It's a slight increase from a previous contract, but it includes some things that address mental health as well, allows him some services there. It's a 3-year contract with 2 one-year renewals as well.
Okay, thank you. Any comments or questions? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed to the next item. Consider 2 appointments to the Elmore County E911 Board. Appointments due 9/27/2021. This will begin our 30-day period for consideration for candidates. We have 2 candidates listed, Mr. Eric Jones and Sheriff Bill Franklin, both currently serving on the E911 Board. Again, there are 2 appointments available. Are there any other names for consideration? All right, have we received any additional information?
Yes, sir. You should have one in your packet for Chief Smith. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Should be in everybody's packet. We received that
Yes,
this morning.
that's Chief Leon Smith, correct? Yeah, right here. Chief of Police, Town of Cusada.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any additional names or comments? All right. Hearing none, we'll proceed. Consider 5 appointments to the Elmore County Industrial Development Authority Board. Appointments are due 9/27/2021. Candidates listed are Ms. Sharon Alexander, John Strickland, Harris Garner, Rhett Smith, and Art Faulkner. All are currently serving on the Industrial Development Authority Board. These are all 1-year appointments. Is that correct?
Yes.
I think they are all 1 year.
That is correct, Chairman. And just as a reminder, Chairman, the members of the Elmore County Industrial Development Authority must come from the membership roster of the Elmore County Economic Development Authority. I have spoken to the chairman of ACETA and the IDA, and he says that all the members listed, as you see in front of you on the agenda, do desire to be reappointed in the same capacity.
All right, thank you. Any comments or questions? All right, we'll proceed. Consider one appointment to the Ridge Improvement District Board, appointment due 9/27/2021. The single candidate listed, Thomas T. Lamberth. Any comments or questions? All right, hearing none, we will proceed to our next agenda item, discuss fiscal year 2022 budget. As you're aware, we've been working on the budget for several months now. It's our goal to approve a budget in the month of August so that our department heads and others who have submitted their budget requests can go ahead and begin to plan for the next fiscal year rather than waiting until the day before the next fiscal year begins and they're all scrambling trying to determine what was approved and what was not approved. So I appreciate our staff and their commitment and our elected officials and department heads' commitment to getting this done in advance of that. Mr. Byer?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, last week you were sent the electronic version of the proposed budget. It also included job descriptions that were being modified or reclassifications. It included allocations for a 2% merit raise pool that would be divided up between the different departments based on the number of employees and payroll for those departments. It also has provisions in it to take any kind of projected health care insurance premium increase and absorb that into the budget and not pass that along to the employees. It includes all the discretionary allocations from the 21 budget and continues those into FY22. And as the chairman mentioned, it's the culmination of many months of work. We started working on this back after the first of the year, getting department heads information, and then following up the department heads with their request in early May. And by June, we were having meetings with many of the commissioners in their respective roles as liaisons to the different areas. And then we have come in with recommendations that tried to do everything that those department heads asked for. I would say that all of them came with reasonable expectations, trying to make sure they live within a budget and also try to provide the services that the citizens need in the most efficient and effective way. This budget also takes into consideration some one-time projects. We have a little over $2 million of one-time projects, from road and bridge to building type projects. You heard Todd Smith earlier with Schneider. There's some projects that have potential that we have budgeted out of the general fund or the public road and bridge fund that could potentially be ARP projects. So we have that overlap as well. We have actually created in this budget process 5 new positions, 3 in the highway department, 2 in the sheriff's department with the jail. There's 15 job reclassifications that are included as well to bolster services for the public. It includes things like continuing the COVID Wi-Fi hotspot investment that was made during the middle of the pandemic. It continues to do things like enhance the election process. We've got all the requests in from the judge about the election, but we also have provisions in there for the circuit clerk and dealing with absentee ballots based on the last election. All in all, it's a $32 million line item for expenditures, and it is, I believe, puts you in a position to where you continue to help the agencies that you have traditionally funded, and then the few requests that we got from entities that y'all have talked to us about as a one-time allocation. We've included those as well. I think outside of that, I probably should allow maybe Chairman you to comment a little bit more on a few other items. If there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer them, but I think maybe there's one or two things that you and maybe a couple other commissioners want to mention that are in the budget.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that recap and appreciate the hard work. I'd like to just a couple of things that we have learned, I guess, from the pandemic and things that we had long wanted to do, but we were somewhat not forced, but it became beneficial for us to activate some of our ideas at the beginning of the pandemic, one being waiving the online fees and credit card processing fees for people to do county business online. So we waived that back in April of 2020 in response to the pandemic, encouraging people to do business online instead of coming. And what we've learned from that process is there are a lot of people doing business online now, some of whom were not doing it because of the fees, and some who have learned that it's more convenient to do that. And so with this budget, we've actually been able to extend the waiving of the online fees and credit card processing fees for the citizens. So those fees are no longer in play. So we're hoping that that will continue to encourage use of technology for a lot of the business that people are accustomed to coming here and doing. It will alleviate the traffic through the courthouse and expedite things for the citizens. So that's one step that we took in response to the pandemic that we're able to actually carry over. Another that we are excited to participate in is the allocation of our SSUT funds, which this is the Simplified Seller Use Tax. Many refer to it as the online tax, online sales tax. State of Alabama has had a very effective, efficient way to collect sales tax online, and our county is led the pack, and we're still one of the only counties in the state that is allocating 25% of our SSUT funds to the Board of Education. So 90% of 25% goes to Elmore County Board of Education, and 10% goes to the Tallahassee City Schools, and that is proportional to the number of students in each respective school district. And so that sum is approximately $300,000 this year that we've been able to give to the Board of Educations, both Tallahassee and Elmore County Board of Education collectively, $300,000, which has helped them in response to a lot of the challenges that they have faced, including classrooms that are bursting at the seams with the influx of people moving to Elmore County. So we are proud of that and excited that we're able to continue doing that for our school systems. Mr. Byer mentioned several other things with regards to our employee compensation and merit-based raises and increasing staffing in certain areas. We are participating in a mobile unit. It's the Baptist Health Wellness Vehicle, which will be traveling across several counties, providing rural areas of the county with health screenings, people who may not be able to travel to a doctor per se, but it's a mobile unit. We are participating in that along with numerous other counties and cities. We're also participating in an aquatics project at the Wetumpka YMCA. They are expanding their swimming pool there. The Montgomery area YMCA has put up a lot of funds to do that, and we're going to participate in that some. And then, of course, working diligently to find efficient ways to use the ARP funds, the America Rescue Plan funds that are coming to Elmore County as a result of the recent act by the United States Congress. So I'll turn the time over to any commissioners regarding the budget.
Chairman, just a couple of areas in relation to the budget that I focus on behalf of the commission. One being our volunteer fire departments. I'm very proud that we are continuing to fund some of the expenses that our firefighters have from across the county through our Elmore County Firefighters Association. I know that our fire departments are one thing that touch everybody in our county, and the commission is able to provide funding for their workers' compensation insurance and also for their electronic reporting software. And this year will represent, over the last 5 years, we have been able to increase that funding to over 60% when we first took office in 2016-17. And I'm very proud of that because I think it's an example of what, we're actually spending those dollars that will most benefit our citizens that we serve. We also, in this budget, continue to fund the Elmore County Economic Development Authority. That agency, what the function they serve in our county, reaps benefits that also affects everyone. And also that includes, as Mr. Byron mentioned a minute ago, the hotspots in the areas of the county that have no service, that actually have fiber in those areas. That was the most benefit to our families, our students in specific this last year, and it continues to be a benefit. And we're actually monitoring the usage of those hotspots to make sure they are still positioned in the best places across the county. And as Chairman, as you mentioned a minute ago, I was with a group a while back, and they were talking about SSUT tax, and somebody said, there's 3 school systems in the county that the county commission voluntarily gives them 25% of their total SSUT collections, and 2 of those 3 are in Elmore County. And of course, as you mentioned, that's Board of Education, and that's Tallahassee City Schools. And again, I think that just goes to show that we are focused on putting those dollars back into the community, serving our citizens, of course, who have put us in this position. I also want to thank our staff, department heads, and our countywide elected officials for all the hard work that's gone into this budget. I met with Mr. Byer and staff a few days ago and actually went over every line. And we talked about it. We talked about why was the money there and what it goes for and what we're doing with it. And I can say that that's a lot of hard work, and it took a long time to do that, and I appreciate everyone's hard work to bring that together. That's all I have, Chairman.
Thank you. Any additional comments?
I have one, Chairman.
Yes.
The continuing implement of the County Rebuild Alabama Fund, people forget that without this fund, a lot of our roads, it would be 5 to 10 years down the road before we probably could take care of them and repair them and do some paving. So that's a project that's going to be $1.7 million in the total project that this county is going to be able to do and use that would not be there without the Rebuild Alabama. So that's a huge plus for the residents of Elmore.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed. Discuss authorizing chairman and COO to execute contract renewals with Avenue Insights and Analytics for the continued collection of sales use tax and lodging taxes. This is a renewal of the existing contract using this software to collect these taxes. Next item, consider setting a public hearing to vacate a portion of Jug Factory Road as a part of the realignment project of Jug Factory Road and Marshall Road.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this is a longstanding project. The Highway Department has been able to complete the realignment of the southern end of Jug Factory that is unpaved, getting it ready for pavement most likely in the spring of next year based on our current workload. But there's a section of old roadway that had a bad horizontal curve in it, and part of the discussion with the landowner years ago when we acquired the right-of-way to shift this curve was that once the project was over, we'd be in a position to deed that back to the landowner through the vacation process. So that is what this public hearing would be for. This is unlike most of our other vacations in that the county is initiating this through the process of a little different than if a landowner were to come to us. But it's all pursuant to the right-of-way agreements that were done probably 7, 8 years ago when this was acquired.
All right, thank you. Any comments or questions? All right, we'll proceed now. Consent docket, approved travel memorandum, approved declaration of emergency illness for Paige Thornton, appraiser, approved family medical leave request for Paige Thornton, appraiser. Personnel notifications, notification of termination of Jeffrey Milton, equipment operator 2, effective 7/28/2021. Notification of hire of Wayne Talley, equipment operator 2, effective 8/2/2021. Notification of hire of James Glasscock, part-time equipment operator 2, effective 8/2/2021. We'll now proceed to reports to the commission. Mr. Byer.
Yes, sir. The few items I have is just kind of an update. Our rebuild projects are proceeding on. The county work for a lot of the sites that will be getting asphalt are just about complete. We'll be working on the other sites that are just getting county work with rehabilitation, surface treatments. Right now, with our current schedule, we're going to be hard-pressed to finish them all before the chip seal season. But the asphalt work that started last week, it began at the stadium in Wetumpka, trying to get the parking lot done, and then working on our rebuild sites is still on schedule to be finished by the middle of October, which has been our target all along. I also included some photos. Many of you don't get to go to all the sites. We've been trying to take photos, and I'll have more for you in the future of some of the other major projects going on. But this is some photos from 17 Springs over in Millbrook. If you look at those pictures in depth, you'll see not only a good bit of work by the county on the site, but also the elimination of the buildings that were surplus for sale. At the last commission meeting, if you recall, we awarded bids, and contractors have already got underway with, the first meeting in July, we awarded those bids, and they're underway removing those buildings. As for the budget, I'd be glad to answer any other questions if y'all have any. I do appreciate the way that we were able to share information. Y'all get your questions back and forth. I think Commissioner Mercer told me I could kill as many trees as I needed to, but the way that flowed, I think, worked a lot better in terms of getting y'all information, getting questions and answers handled. But all that is due to the fact that we had good work by the department heads to get us the information on the front end, and then Mike Knighton and Courtney Clements, yeoman's work by them to be able to help us get in a position to where we have everything ready for you. As a department head in the past, having budgets adopted at this time and not having to wait till September 30th at noon or 5 o'clock to come back and have a commission meeting and not know how you're going to operate the first few weeks in October is a tremendous upside, to where we just continue on and we're not worried about those deadlines. It's not like the federal government about to shut down kind of thing. We're able to keep on going and get going. The only correction in what I told you we had 5 new positions. We actually have 6 new positions. I just want to make sure I clarify that. 3 for the highway department, or what we're calling public works moving forward because of the kind of changes that department's been doing. 2 for the sheriff, and those are at his request. And then we do have 1 in facilities as we start taking on these ARP projects. So we have a way to do some of our own site work on those, and also the inspection related to all our big projects. So kind of just growing that. And as always, everything that we're trying to do it to where I can leave here one day and y'all have staff completely trained to handle everything. Everybody is kind of working their jobs to where that's the plan, to where there's redundancy and there's some overlap there. So just kudos to the staff for all their work, and thank you for the way y'all have worked with us to get that done through the departments. Mr. Chairman, that's all I have in the way of a report.
All right. Thank you. We'll now proceed with reports from the commissioners. We'll begin with Commissioner Hines.
Just want to touch on the mowing is continuing on with the highway department and taking care of the sides of the roads. And we're working towards having a fall cleanup, which will be the weekend of October 23rd. And a lot of notes and stuff will follow on that. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Daughtry.
I don't have anything at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Mercer.
Thank you, Chairman. Just briefly, on as far as economic development goes, I'm still working with ACETA. They are continuing to bring fishing tournaments into our county. That has a very positive economic impact for our local businesses. And they're actually in the planning phases now of planning tournaments for the coming year. And also, in regards to the budget, just an additional comment, I do think that we are continuing the path that we have set forth to make sure that we're investing these taxpayers' dollars where our citizens will realize the most benefit. And I think we're trying to address those things that we reasonably can with the money that we can make that positive impact with. So I appreciate again the staff and our department heads and our fellow commissioners for letting that be our primary mission. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Lewis?
Just briefly, Chairman, today I do know that Elmore County Schools, of course, started back. In reference to COVID, I know some students went back with masks, some did not. Of course, parents, if you see that your children are showing symptoms of COVID, please make sure you take care of them. Don't send them to school so it doesn't spread. We would not want to have another shutdown because education is very, very important, but we want safety and health concerns to come first. That's all I have, Chairman. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I appreciate my fellow commissioners. I'll just add, with regards to school starting back, I'd encourage all of you to find a teacher, a bus driver, a staff member, whoever it may be this week, and make sure you thank them for everything that they do. I think I was in the drop-off line this morning for Wetumpka Elementary School and Wetumpka Middle School, and it was absolute chaos. There were people everywhere. There were cars everywhere. I've been doing it for a long time. My wife and I rode together, and we just laughed because there were a few new people dropping kids off, and they were frustrated and honking horns and mad, and we just all need to take a step back, relax, remember that what we say and do is our children are watching. So be mindful of that. The guidance counselors are being asked to change everyone's schedule at one time for thousands of students. We just all need to relax and allow people to do their jobs, and I'm confident that our great educators in Elmore County will do all they can to serve our children. I'll turn the time over now to Kimberly for important calendar dates.
Tuesday, August 24th through Thursday, August 26th will be the ACCA Convention in Orange Beach. Monday, September 6th, the administrative complex will be closed for Labor Day. Our next commission meeting will not be until Monday, September 13th, with the work session at 5 and the business meeting following.
All right, thank you. We'll reconvene shortly. All right, I'd like to welcome you to our Elmore County Commission business meeting dated Monday, August 9, 2021. We'll call this meeting to order. We'll begin with an invocation, which I will offer, following which Commissioner Mercer will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'll join me in prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we are grateful for this opportunity to gather together. We're grateful for this beautiful community in which we live. We're grateful for the people that live here and for the camaraderie and friendship and compassion and love that we feel in our community. We are grateful for all those servants in our community, our law enforcement, and other service providers in the medical field. We appreciate our teachers and students as they return back to school this week. We ask Thee to bless them, that they might be lifted up in courage and strength and prayer. And we ask Thee also to bless Georgia Pinkston as she prepares for surgery this week, and her family and Judge Pinkston. We are grateful for all that we have, and this we say in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Ms. Kim, would you call roll?
Commissioner Hines?
Here.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Here.
Chairman Stubbs?
Here.
Commissioner Mercer?
Here.
Commissioner Lewis?
Here.
All right, we'll proceed now with regular business. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the July 26, 2021 Commission meeting?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the memorandum of warrants for the period of July 21, 2021 through August 8, 2021?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Proceeding now with new business. Is there a motion to approve the domestic violence grant application and authorize chairman to execute?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve QCHC agreement for inmate detainee health services and authorize chairman to execute?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the fiscal year 2022 budget?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve authorizing chairman and COO to execute contract renewals with Avenue Insights and Analytics for the continued collection of sales use tax and lodging taxes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve setting a public hearing on September 13, 2021 at 5 p.m. to consider vacating a portion of Jug Factory Road as a part of the realignment project of Jug Factory Road and Marshall Road?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the consent docket as presented in the work session?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
We will bypass personnel notifications. Any additional reports? No, sir. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
We are adjourned.